SoFi and stock market investors, welcome back to the channel. My name is Jason. In today's video, I want to go over the most popular question I get in the comment section down below in each and every one of my videos. That question is it too late to buy SoFi stock? There's obviously a lot of variables that go into this, but I'm going to break down my thoughts on this question and my reasoning behind that. In every single video I do is like, are you still buying SoFi? Is it too late to get in? Obviously, a lot of the big time money has been made already, right? When the stock was at $4, $5, $6 a share, ran up to 32, and now it dumped down in that $19 range. But stock price is temporary, but great businesses can last for generations. And that's what I'm investing in, a great business, right? The stock price, what it is today, what it is tomorrow, in the short term, it could go anywhere. It could go back to $10 a share. But honestly, guys, I don't really care about that. The execution of the business is what I ultimately care about long term, because in the short term, Warren Buffett always says the stock market is a voting machine. But in the long term, Buffett says it's a weighing machine. So at some point down the road, the stock price will mirror the success of the company long term. So don't forget, guys, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Now, let's get into the video about whether or not it's too late to buy SoFi stock. Is it too late to buy SoFi stock? If you take a look at your screen right now, guys, I've prepared a little slideshow objectively looking at the stock. I don't really care either way. If you buy the shares, you don't buy the shares, you have to invest what you're willing to potentially lose. And if you're not comfortable with your stock getting cut in half, another quote by Warren Buffett, you shouldn't be investing in individual stocks. It would be pretty rare if like a stock like VOO got cut in half, even though it has happened in history, right? But individual stocks are a lot more volatile. And the overall market, when it sells off, stocks like SoFi get beat up. That's kind of what we're seeing happening right now. It's more of a macro thing than what's fundamentally going on with the company right now, because the Q4 earnings report pretty good in my opinion, right? So let's get into this slideshow, guys. In the past 2 years, SoFi stock up over 141%. And that's with giving back 39% from the top that we hit earlier 6 months ago, 5 months ago, back in November, right? Where we were trading over $30 a share, comfortably over $30 per share in that $32 range, right? So the stock is volatile. There's no other way around it, right? This is not for the faint of heart. You got to be in it for the long term. Just as a little FYI, I do own over 6,000 SoFi shares. And if you watch my last video, I showed you every single share that I own in my various accounts. If you want to check that out, I'll leave a link for that video in the description down below. We've seen huge run-ups, huge pullbacks, and everything in between. There's a lot of elation and a lot of pain. If you bought at $30 per share, you're probably feeling like a huge pile of shit right now, guys. There's no other way around it, right? Losing money in the stock market is never fun. But if you own over 100 shares, selling some covered calls is a great way to generate like a dividend or kind of cut your losses a little bit there on the stock. But for me, to determine whether or not SoFi stock is a potential buy, or is it too late to buy this stock where it's at right now in that $20 range, we have to start with the fundamentals, because that's where the company lies. It's objective, right? You could pretty much go through all of the earnings report and kind of look at it in an objective fashion and determine whether or not you like these numbers or not, right? And whether or not the company is executing up to your standards or just overall a quality business model in general, right? The stock could be down in recent months due to macro-related volatility. I talked about that a little earlier. Profit taking is definitely has happened, right? We've seen this stock be controlled by retail over the last several years. We've just crossed over 50%. I'll get into institutional ownership a little bit later in this video, but now I purely want to talk about fundamentals. SoFi continues to post remarkable growth, with adjusted net revenue rising 37% in the fourth quarter, ending December 31st, 2025. The company's customer base is expanding quickly, going from 10.1 million to 13.7 million in the past year. Record adjusted EBITDA of $318 million, 31% adjusted EBITDA margin. And if we take a look at this right here, this is a bar chart of the adjusted EBITDA in millions of dollars. And we could see Q4 adjusted EBITDA is in this light SoFi blue here, and 2025 is this darker blue right here. Margins at 29% year over year, which is incredible, guys. 318 million just in this one quarter alone. If you take a look from 2024 right now, record adjusted EBITDA of $318 million is almost half of the total adjusted EBITDA that we had in 2024. And we did that in one quarter, guys. That growth is remarkable. And if we just take a look from 2021 to 2025, how could you not love these numbers? If you're looking at these numbers objectively and don't like them, I don't know what to tell you, guys. I honestly don't. I think they're executing at a very high level, and I'm very happy of where we're at right now. GAAP net income of 174 million, 17% GAAP net income margins, pretty damn good. Ninth straight quarter of profitability. I don't know why the Y got all little there, but yeah, 9 quarters in a row, guys. And now that we're consistently profitable, that means inclusion to these big entities like the S&P 500 could potentially be here sooner rather than later. If we look back at 2021, we were losing a shitload of money up until 2024. Look, in this light blue is Q4 adjusted net income of $174 million. In this one quarter alone, we've almost surpassed the total adjusted net income in totality in 2024. That's insane, guys. I don't know if you understand how remarkable that is, that this GAAP net income of 174 million almost surpassed what we did in all 4 quarters just a year ago. They're becoming more and more profitable on the bottom line quarter after quarter and year after year. And these numbers through 2030 are going to be up and to the right considerably. Again, numbers I'm very happy with moving forward. Okay, fee-based revenue of 443 million is up over 50% year over year, representing 43% of adjusted net revenue. Fee-based revenue is great because it's more predictable. It's not as volatile with interest rates. They're coming in quarter after quarter, year after year, month after month. Fee-based revenue is a great way to kind of have a floor for profitability, and that's a great thing moving forward. And as we could see, the fee-based revenue is huge. Just in this quarter alone, in Q4, it's remarkable where we're at right here. Q4, 443 million, nearly half of what all fee-based revenue was here in 2024. And here's the fee-based revenue mix, 57% to 43%. And sooner rather than later, fee-based revenue is going to surpass all other adjusted net revenue by percentage basis. Another huge win for SoFi moving forward. Okay, the next thing I want to talk to you guys about, which is really interesting in my opinion, is institutional ownership, right? Just in the last week, we've went from institutional shares owned from 694 million to 724 million to 733 million just in the past week. It's crazy. 733 million shares are now owned by institutions. We're closing in on 60 freaking percent. That's remarkable. Just a week ago, we were at 54%. To move almost to 58% in 7 days is pretty insane, guys. I'm kind of flabbergasted by those numbers. And that's just one day. We still have the rest of the week for companies to add more. And it looks like under 20 bucks per share, institutions are seeing a bargain, right? Total deposits grew to 4.6 billion quarter over quarter, nearing almost $40 billion. They set new records in members and products, added 1 million new members in Q4, will easily hit 15 to 17 million members in the SoFi ecosystem by the end of the year. If we touched 18, I wouldn't be entirely surprised, right? The member compound annual growth rate of 41%. We're at 13.6 million. We added a million new members here in Q4. And we're just going to continue to add million here, million there, 1.2, 1.3. Maybe we'll get to the point where we're adding 1.5 million new members per quarter. That would be craziness. And the biggest thing that I'm looking at right now, guys, for me, is members are turning into paying customers that are affecting the bottom line. Personal loans from 2021 to 2025 has been up and to the right with steady growth. I love that. Student loans, a little all over the place. Back in 2021, we had a little jump there after COVID, and then we declined considerably in 2022. But since then, over the last 3 years, up and to the right. Since 2022, these numbers in all three of these categories, personal loans, student loans, home loans, have all been up and to the right. And that is not even counting for all the fee-based revenue that we're getting quarter after quarter and year after year. We had big bumps in home loans and student loans in 2021. We saw a plummet of them in 2022. How they remained profitable then is crazy to me. And then since 2022, pretty flat in 2023 across student loans and home loans, but we've seen a huge demand increase for home loans and student loans and personal loans over the last couple of years, guys. And I expect that to continue as interest rates go down and more supply gets on the market. Refis are going to happen in the home industry as well as these new mortgages. I love it. I love it. People are going to be upsizing, downsizing. I mean, to throw away your mortgage rate of 3.5% for a 6.5% mortgage is absolutely insane, right? So far, the fundamentals look very, 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 very good. Perspective to the valuation, right? Despite the gains, investors might still be a little cautious. SoFi does have an over 30 PE when the market typically trades in that 20 to 24 range. Under 20 becomes more good value. But, and I just said more good. More good? More good. More good. Okay. Back to the perspective to the valuation. Adjusted net income climbed 112% in 2025. It's expected to rise 72%. These numbers are crazy right now. You're never going to climb 100% year over year. I mean, that's just not sustainable and realistic, right? So if you're looking for these ridiculous 100%, 150% growth, go invest in a biotech that's going to go bankrupt. But I want a stable business with continued growth up and to the right. I love those arrows up and to the right, guys. And between 2025 and 2028, the leadership team forecasts 38 to 42% annualized adjusted earnings per share growth. If we're growing EPS between 35 and 45% over the next 5 years, 3 to 5 years, that sounds pretty good to me, guys. And if we grow the stock 30% per year, we're going to significantly outperform, the S&P 500. And speaking of the S&P 500, looking forward, S&P 500 inclusion. It could be next month. It could be at the end of the summer. It could be at the end of the year. Nobody knows exactly when it's going to come, but we're there right now. We have all the fundamentals we need to get in there. I want to know where this capital raise went. Remember, they raised about $1 billion at $27.50 per share. You think all these companies that bought at $27.50 for this capital raise are going to just take a loss? Hell no, they're not. They're going to probably buy more at these lower levels, lower their cost per share, and just let this MF ride, guys. I'm really curious to see what's going to happen. Is a possible acquisition coming? Anthony Noto has kind of kept the plans close to the vest right now, but hopefully over the next coming quarter or two, we'll get a better plan about where this $1 billion is going. I also want to see some brokerage expansion. I currently work with Fidelity, Charles Schwab, and when I trade options, and SoFi can expand their options platform, the amount of fees that they collect just from me alone in 1 year is crazy. Let alone the millions of customers that could potentially be giving them fees for trading options, trading crypto. I think that brokerage expansion profitability has a lot of runway going forward, guys. So now I just want to take a look real quick at this valuation from a statistics standpoint. You know, we're traded pretty flat today, but man, if we take a look at these numbers, we're trading at a pretty good market cap, 24.78 billion. Considerable discount from just back where it was in December, where it was at 33 billion. The forward PE, that's what I really want to look at, right? 76 down to 36, 61, 48, 44, 33. It's the cheapest it's been since the end of 2024 from a forward PE perspective, right? I like to look at trailing PE, but for me, I want to look forward. I want to look forward. There's a reason why the windshield is bigger than the rearview mirror, guys, right? We want to look forward. The PEG ratio under 2, great value. First time it's been under 2 in quite some time. It's about 1.5 right now. That's great. Price to book around 2. I want to see that under 2 before I really start buying heavy. But for me, under 20 bucks per share looks pretty juicy. I've been adding some shares over the last several weeks here, guys. And total cash around 5 billion. Debt at 2 billion. Another number that looks really, really good because some of these banks, go look at Bank of America. They carry monster debt loads because they have a lot of expenses with all these brick and mortars. SoFi doesn't have that problem. They don't got to pay rent and lease and all this mortgages and all this other bullshit that they have in these brick and mortars, right? SoFi doesn't have to worry about that. And we are seeing the short interest under 10%. I think people are playing a dangerous game shorting this company, guys. I really do. I really, really do. But if you want to play that game, especially since it's been cut down, 40%, good luck with that. I'm very excited about where the company is going. And in my opinion, it is not too late to buy SoFi stock. If you want to take advantage of this depressed price, what you could do is sell some cash secured puts. So say you want to buy SoFi a little cheaper than where it's at right now, say at $18. You put up $1,800 in capital. So in order to sell cash secured put, you have to buy 100 shares times the $18 you want to get it at. You got to put up the $1,800 in capital, and they'll give you a little bit of premium for selling this put, whether it's 1 month out, 2 months, 3 months, and you'll get a little bit of cash there in your brokerage account. And what I do with that cash I get from the cash secured puts and my covered calls is I just buy more shares of stocks that I love, including SoFi, right? So that's kind of my thoughts on whether or not it's too late to buy SoFi stock. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And as always, do me a huge favor, hit that like button, hit the hype button, and if you want more SoFi and stock market content, please consider subscribing to the channel. Thank you guys so much for all your support. Closing in on 4,000 subscribers. You guys are the best. Peace.